Hey, everybody. It is Thursday. That means it is time for Teal Talk. We wouldn't be anywhere else other than here with you live on Facebook Live, ready to talk about what we've got coming up for you in 2019. I am Jenny Guy. I'm Mediavine's marketing manager. It is January 24th already, which is crazy. Hard to believe that we're already almost a month into 2019. And I am here with our CEO, our cheese mover in chief, Eric Hochberger. Eric, welcome.
Thank you, Jenny, and hi, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Julia Jordan said, hi, y'all. So we have so many things to talk about. We're going to jump in. As always, if you guys have questions for us, please feel free to post them in the links or post them in the thread and we will answer you. Hi, Amy. Hi, Nicole. Hi, everybody for coming. Thanks for coming with us. Okay. Let's start out with what makes Mediavine, which is our ad tech. Today, we are going to talk about what's new with that. So I know that we had some exciting developments in 2018, kind of later on in the year. Talk to us a little bit about what that was and then what that's going to mean for us moving forward.
Yeah, no, 2018 was pretty crazy. Amber wrote up a pretty surreal blog post if you go back and realize everything that we launched in 2018, especially when it comes to our ad technology. Lots of new features. I won't go over all of them, but some really exciting stuff was the launch of like our sticky player, scroll to play, a lot of video stuff. The launch, most importantly, I think of just all new versions of our ad technology. Script Wrapper, the video player, both got a 2.0 relaunch, completely rewritten from the ground up. That a lot of people saw upwards of a 20% increase in revenue last year without even making a single change to the way their site looked or the front end. So all that stuff was kind of behind the scenes, awesome changes. And that's really what 2018 was about, was getting kind of the technology and the pieces in place for all the exciting stuff in 2019 that's coming up.
And just to be clear, when you say that people saw a 20% increase, that wasn't with more ads, right? That we weren't
Right. So without anything changing for the end user is what I mean. So we change a lot of auction dynamics, or like kind of the secret sauce we do behind the scenes to make more money out of all those, same ad impressions. So no new ads were really added in pretty much all of 2018. We switched to the Coalition for Better Ad Standards at the very beginning of last year, where we kind of changed how we were inserting in content ads. For some sites that was more ads, for some sites that was less, but that was at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year is when we launched our new ad technology, and that saw 0 new ads being added. And all those earnings were from the existing ads on page.
Incredible. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this year. Are we going to see new ads? Is that possible that we'll be seeing some new things?
So one of the things we're trying to do is separate the concept of ad experiences kind of from ad placements. So we don't want to add necessarily new placements. So we don't want any more ads per page. What we do here at Mediavine is we have all ads compete against each other. So when we unveiled, let's say, native ads or a new video ad, it's really going up against existing placements. So that, we're definitely going to continue to add new experiences without adding new ad units. So no more ads, just better existing ads is the way we're looking to do things this year. And just like we launched the sticky player and we launched the video adhesion, those are kind of custom, unique, exclusive to Mediavine offerings. And that's pretty much what we do here best at Mediavine. We create new experiences that don't exist anywhere else on the internet. And we're going to have some more of those coming up this year that we're really excited about.
And what that basically is going to do is give the advertisers more choices as to how to spend their money and how to spend even more money on the placements that are already existing.
No, exactly. Advertisers are always looking for a unique way to display their message, right? We all have what's called banner blindness. If you just see the same banner ad over and over again, you're going to learn to ignore it. And that's kind of happened with a lot of banner ads. That's why we've really gotten into things like native ads that are no longer constrained within a 300 by 250 fixed medium-sized rectangle. Nobody cares what that is. We just want to see the ad, or the advertisers wants to get their message across. So native was a great way of kind of doing that, and that's just the start. Native is just an overall concept. We've been doing native. If you look at the video adhesion that's exclusive to Mediavine, that is a native placement. It's not your standard run-of-the-mill just like ad that shows. It feels like it's part of the site, and that's the kind of exciting new ad experiences that advertisers love to buy and are willing to pay a premium because they get better results.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to say hi to some people that are saying hi to us. Lindsay Ponta says, hola, hola, Lindsay. Anna, I'm saying her name wrong. Anashri Shetty says, hello. Michaela says, hey there. Sonia, hi. Sonal Gupta, hello. Amy Sugarman says, heck yeah. Holly Baker says, hi there. Happy 2019 to everyone. Bobette Kyle says, hi, you are awesome. So we will always take those comments. Thank you, Bobette. So we are happy to have all of you here, and I'm going to turn the conversation to one of Eric's very favorites. Talk to us about ad speed.
So yeah, Pagespeed, she likes to bait me sometimes, but last year we saw kind of the release of the optimized ads for mobile Pagespeed, which was really exciting. It kind of got mobile ads completely out of the way from your content from loading. Did a whole little great talk on SEO and ads. If you haven't watched that one, it's a bit of an epic go for Teal, but I recommend it. And basically I use kind of like a highway metaphor for explaining how kind of our evolution of how our ads load have really changed over the years to make sure that your content is prioritized. And that's what optimizing ads for mobile Pagespeed did. We're going to be bringing that same technology to desktop this year, and we've already unveiled it for our video player. So we're basically making sure everything that Mediavine creates gets the heck out of the way of your content from loading as quickly as possible. So your site is loading the fastest it can.
And that's all in response. Well, it's basically our tenet for Pagespeed to begin with, but a lot of it is in direct response to the new Lighthouse with the Google Pagespeed Insights, correct?
Yeah, so Google completely redid Pagespeed Insights to be powered off of Lighthouse, and Lighthouse introduced very strict new requirements. Their tool is honestly better than ever as a result of it, but it is very tough to hit all of those new numbers. And those are absolutely the new requirements. Google says that's here to stay, that pulls in real world data from people's Chrome browsers across the internet. Nobody else has this data that Google has about how long your page takes to load. I think that's probably the people we should trust, unless, you know, Apple or I don't even know who else is left anymore. Firefox, does anyone still run that thing? If they start to release data, like they could give us some insights into PageSpeed, but that's what Google's doing. They're using real world examples of how long does your site take to load and what you can do to fix it.
If you use Firefox, we will not shame you. Just post in we want to know if that's a thing that exists still anymore. So post in the comments. We will celebrate you, not shame. No shame here.
Better that than IE. So yes, go for it.
I won't let him make fun of you. Okay. All right. So one of the big things that Amber talked about in that 2018 wrap-up post that Susanna was kind enough to post in the comments was just how dang big that Mediavine team has gotten over the past year. It's pretty astronomical in terms of growth. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what that team means, where we're really focusing a lot of our energy, and what that's going to mean for Mediavine publishers.
As long as you don't ask me for the latest head count, because I'm terrible at that.
No, I will not.
Okay. Now we put together an unbelievable team, really the last 2 years. And a lot of that team is just like getting that ad technology into place so that we could build upon it. It was getting the right team in place so that we could build all this stuff for you guys. We've grown out our ad tech engineering team. And those are the guys that build things like the video player, the script wrapper, all the things that make you more money. We now have a dedicated yield and data team that are just looking at ways to squeeze more money out of the advertisers for you. We have a publisher engineering team, which is really exciting, building tools like Create and everything that has basically nothing to do with ads, but are just here to help you guys generate, get more traffic, create better user experiences, allow you to focus on your content. All those kind of tools are coming from a completely separate team that didn't even exist more than a couple of years ago, right? So the team has grown. We have an amazing programmatic sales team now. Went from one person 2 years ago to now a team of 3 that are out selling. We've grown our brand and influencer marketing teams. It's been insane. And of course, the largest team here, our support team. We have an unbelievable publisher support and support engineering team that kind of makes sure that everybody is optimized, everything is working for all of our tools. So they're not just supporting Mediavine ads, but also supporting things like Create. So the team has grown across the board.
And it is pretty cray-cray. I have been here, I've seen it all happen, and I am still blown away by it as it goes on. So it's pretty wild. Ben Heath said, Firefox is dead. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, that makes you feel better about saying that then.
Kit Graham said Firefox and Safari. Rebecca Johnston said, thank you, Rebecca. She said, P.S. The Mediavine team is awesome, so helpful and hardworking. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank
We
you.
really love hearing that. Okay, so let's move on to, we said 2018, we said it over and over again. We said it all throughout our lives. 2018 was the year of video, but you did a little switcheroo about 3/4 of the way through 2018, and you said it is no longer just a year of video, it's a decade of video. Why is that? Tell us about the Mediavine video player.
So the year of video, I should caveat, was almost a joke in the ad industry for a while. Every year they would say it's the year of video. It was for sure the year of video though for Mediavine last year. We had more, I believe, in the month of June last year than we had the rest of existence of Mediavine in terms of number of videos that we served. So there was insane growth of video here at Mediavine from our publishers and from our different video experiences we would kind of release. Things like that video adhesion, that sticky video player, the scroll to play, all that stuff that came out last year. So why am I extending though into the decade? Because video is like obviously here to stay. As people are moving away from things like traditional broadcast television, moving into things like streaming shows, all that budget is moving from traditional broadcast media into digital. That's all good for us. The same platforms that are powering things like Netflix ads. Oh, I don't think those are out yet, but those are coming. Hulu ads will use, I know it makes us all very upset. No, there's ads for their own shows. It's fine. Hulu ads are powered by kind of the same platforms that we're using to sell ads. So it's exciting as people move to things like YouTube TV or wherever they're watching their shows, because now it's more ad spend is coming into online video as opposed to broadcast. And that's why video is where all the advertiser dollars are going, which is why we always encourage anyone who's not already doing it to start creating video. We make it very easy here with Mediavine. You can upload your videos directly in the dashboard. You can use things like Mediavine Control Panel if you're on WordPress to directly insert those videos. We have things like the sticky video player and video adhesion to highlight those videos. But again, into why 2019 is so exciting, we have a lot of changes coming to our video player. First and foremost, it's going to make everyone more money. Yeah, I know. I believe I said that in 2018 and it came true, but 2019 is it's going to come even more true. So our web wrapper,
doubling down.
I know the script wrapper, really the web side of things, got a lot of that kind of yield and data behind it to, kind of get every penny we could. Now we're bringing that same technology to video this year. So a lot of behind the scenes things happening again to make sure not more videos are necessarily showing, though Up Next helped with that. But the videos that are already showing are going to make you more money. So higher fill rates, higher CPMs, therefore higher RPMs. That's kind of all happening this year. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. And on the front end, I forgot to mention in the amazing team that we've been building out, we now have in-house designers, multiple designers. So one of the things we're going to be working on is creating new themes for the video player. So allowing, just like the video adhesion kind of matches the look of your site by allowing you to choose a color, we want to do even more of that so that the sticky player, everything about the video player feels custom to you and your site. So new player designs, including clickable post titles in the desktop video player that I know people have been asking for, better controls over things like playlists. So right now we just have the single kind of Up Next playlist that publishers can use. Want to give people better controls so that they can pick the most relevant videos for that page for their user.
That all sounds phenomenal. We have Julia Jordan says we love more money. Julia, I think that we can all get on that train with you, the money train for sure. Wendy Useless and Spraker says she loves support. They are awesome. Christy George says Mediavine support is the best. Thank you for sharing that feedback with us. We'd love to hear it. Okay, Jill, let's just pause for a second. Eric, what the heck is a script wrapper? You talk about it all the time. Let's just put it out there.
The script wrapper needs a new name. That's what it needs. We're working on that. So the script wrapper is what basically inserts the ads into your page. It's the original technology we've had here for, 3+ years now, that basically analyzes on your page where it can insert on a per page basis, where it's going to insert the ads. It's also what runs the auction, gets the highest price for each of those ad slots from our different partners, and then actually ends up calling our ad server, which is Google Ad Manager, the ad server used by everyone, and kind of serves the ad in the end. So the script wrapper you can think of as really kind of the auction manager. It's figuring out how much money you can get per ad and where to place that ad. And it kind of controls all of that stuff. And it respects all the settings you put in the dashboard. It's our wrapper.
It's our brain,
Yeah.
essentially. It is the brain of the ads on your site. So when we revamp everything from the back end, that means that we can add all the cool things from the front end.
Right. All
Interesting.
through a single kind of script. Everyone shares the script wrapper, but they're all configuration around it. None of that matters. What matters is, yes, if you change a setting in the dashboard, it's real time. It's happening all through our script wrapper. And that's what allows us to kind of scale across now, 4,200 sites and deliver completely different ad experiences on different sites based on different publishers' preferences. And that's all thanks to the script wrapper.
Exploding head emoji. Eric, you're blowing minds left and right. Okay, Bobat Kyle said, I just read that more web-based news media are going to focus more on subscription content to increase profit. I wonder if that will drive more ad dollars to blogs since there will be less open web inventory.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see how well that succeeds. Paywalls historically have not done that well. Obviously, there's a few success stories. I don't know how much of that I would necessarily worry about, and people have tried that for years. Sure, we can say that more web dollars will flow our way, but in general, spend is moving to the web, moving to digital. I would not worry about spend decreasing over time, but only increasing from the advertisers, whether the paywall takes off for these news outlets or not.
Heard it here first, Bobette. Okay, now let's talk about something else that I'm personally super excited about, which is our dashboard. It is already unparalleled in the industry. We're going to make it even more unparalleled. I don't know if that's a word, but I just created it. That's what's happening.
Now.
It is a word now. So tell us why we're going to love our dashboard even more in 2019.
So first off, one of the first tasks those new designers have is to fix our dashboard this year. The dashboard's in the need of definitely some new love. So some of the stuff that the dashboard's going to be getting is kind of those health checks that we have, the signature health checks here at Mediavine. I believe we're at 5 right now. We kind of don't want to just keep dumping those on you guys because it's tough to navigate what you need to action on. Everyone wants those teal stars, and we want you guys to get them, but we want to make it obvious what you have to do to get there. So one of the things we're going to be working on is, first off, more health checks, but a better designed health check system to make it a little bit easier to figure out what you need to do to hit those numbers to maximize your RPMs, user experience, and traffic. So big changes are coming to the Health Check Center as part of the new dashboard. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing is we do have, I don't know if people have seen this, but we have a thing called two-factor authentication now that's been slowly releasing. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it on live because support might not love me if I do, but making sure that your dashboard is locked down, that only you can do it. Same two-factor you might have had through your Google account, making sure you get a text message that it's really you logging in. And one of the things we're also doing with that is working on different users, or what we call sub-users, and permissions, so that you can invite people into your dashboard who might have access, let's say, to just upload videos without changing your settings. Or maybe you have an accountant that you want to get in to see reporting, but you don't necessarily want them to be able to change other things. So sub-users and two-factor are kind of a relook at kind of security around here and authentication. Pretty exciting. I know most people don't get excited by security, but some people might. I do. So that's some of the new features coming out. The settings part of the dashboard has gotten a little out of control as we continue to add new things. I've gotten feedback from people that they don't even know where necessarily to find the optimize, ads for mobile page speed, and it's literally the first thing. So that's a problem. So one of the things we need to work on in general is our settings, and that's going to be a big part of the dashboard redesign. It's making sure the settings you're looking for are easier to find and easier to kind of figure out what are the recommended settings for your site. So a lot of good stuff coming from that redesign. And of course, more reporting. Do not worry, we are not taking away reporting with the simplification of the dashboard. If anything, we're only going to give more power.
More power. We love this. We love hearing that. Okay, and now on to a different subject. We've got people saying hello, hello. Oh, Ben Heath has a question. Is there a chance of getting a comparison tool for a date range like in Google Analytics so we can easily compare RPMs for 2 specific date ranges?
I think what we're really looking to do, first and foremost, is make sure you can compare like a similar date range. So how are you doing this time period compared to last? But yeah, we want to make it easier for, in general, comparing dates and quickly selecting dates. So absolutely.
Amy said that would be awesome. We agree, Amy. We are always working for awesome. That is the Mediavine standard. Okay, let's move on to a different subject, one that I think is also super cool, Mediavine Direct. We haven't talked about it in a while. What is it? Do we need to, why are we bringing it back up again right now?
Poor Mediavine Direct. It doesn't get brought up enough. So
I love
Mediavine
it.
Direct is one of the first Mediavine exclusives we built. Very cool. It allows an advertiser who may not be able to typically buy programmatic ads to buy ads on your site, so that every site here at Mediavine gets a landing page to Mediavine Direct that you can send in advertisers interested in buying on your site. And Mediavine Direct is an existing product. You can use it now, and it definitely works. We have a lot of publishers that are successfully selling on it, a lot of advertisers that continue to buy on it. However, Mediavine Direct kind of launched 2 years ago and hasn't really received any love here at Mediavine, any updates since then. And that's kind of what we're going to be re-exploring as a new version of Mediavine Direct this year. The industry's changed in the last 2 years. I don't know if you heard, there's this thing called video that you can't currently buy in Direct. So we want to kind of revamp Direct a little bit to focus on things like those native ads, direct ads, video ads, and giving the advertisers a better experience as they try to buy ads on your site, so that Mediavine Direct will hopefully convert a little bit better, and publishers can continue to send that to advertisers. So a new version of that is coming soon.
So we've got some questions coming towards us about Mediavine Direct. Holly Baker said, would Mediavine Direct be a good thing to use for sponsored posts?
If the sponsor is buying or wants digital ads as part of it, absolutely. We think it's way better than giving them, say, a dedicated sidebar ad. It's going to let them buy ads across your site. It hasn't been necessarily maybe what you want to sell for a sponsored post, which is letting them buy an entire post worth of ads. But we're bringing more of the sponsorship stuff into Mediavine Direct this year, or it might not hit at the beginning, but during the relaunch. But that's one of the goals of Mediavine Direct, is to help you with selling sponsored campaigns.
And yeah, absolutely. A lot of times you'll have a sponsored or the brand come to you and say they want to purchase a dual thing. They want to purchase posts on your site, but they also want to purchase social media. Plus, they want to purchase some advertising. This is giving you the way for them to enter in your auction and not undersell your spaces. Can we absolutely post something, one of our help docs about Mediavine Direct, for some people who might not know or be familiar with that? That would be awesome. Thank you, guys.
Trust Susanna to have done it for you.
I'm sure she probably has. As the thought comes to my brain, it is already happening. We had a question from Sonia Saluja. What are your views on progressive web apps for speed? Does it make sense to evaluate options?
I think someone is getting a little bit ahead of exactly what we want to talk about, but we love progressive web apps around here. Progressive web apps, for people that don't know, are kind of like almost turning your website into an app. In particular, this is a big Google project, and it's something that's really big on Android phones, and it's also a little bit on iOS or Apple phones as well. But it basically is almost like a hybrid of whether it's a website or an app. It lets you add things like an icon to your home screen. It gives you things like push notifications. It has something called service workers that nobody here needs to necessarily worry about. But it's basically a way of the website going to your server, like kind of in the background, and allows it to update so that websites can be used even offline or when you have bad internet connections. So PWAs are very cool. They have a place. They're not the easiest thing just to drop into an existing, let's say, theme. I know there are a couple WordPress plugins that attempt to do it. Be careful. They're actually very complex things. But yeah, they absolutely have a great place in speed, and we'll talk about what Mediavine's doing with them shortly.
All right. Annie McClung says, I've sent my Mediavine Direct page to 3 people who wanted to run ads on my sites. All 3 asked what RPMs are. I realized that people buying ads should know these terms, but in my case, all 3 were small businesses that just liked my site and wanted to know what to expect.
So Annie, that's actually a big focus of the new Mediavine Direct, is that better experience for advertisers. We realize that we're trying to bring programmatic advertising to small advertisers, but these aren't small advertisers that aren't doing programmatic just because they don't have the budget, but because they don't even have the knowledge. So that's one of the things we want to fix with this, is making sure that a lot of the businesses you work with will be able to use this, whether they understand ads or not. You look at things like maybe even Facebook, a little complicated, but a lot of people can buy Facebook ads without really knowing how the heck programmatic ads work. And that's something we want to take very seriously with Mediavine Direct, making sure that it's good for the power user that wants, to make sure they're targeting the right audience, but also easy for people that don't even know what audience they want to target. So working on it, we promise.
And Susanna posted the help doc specifically written for advertisers that you can share with them if they're asking questions about what the heck programmatic advertising is when they want to buy on your site. So we've got something there. Okay, we will continue to expand that out though as we move forward. I'm excited for Mediavine Direct. I think it's such a cool proprietary feature that we have, and it's just another one of the reasons that Mediavine is pretty awesome. But don't let my co-host here get a big head. I don't want him to be too confident. All right, so we've talked a lot about ads. Impossible. It's not even possible. We talked a lot about ads. We've kind of been focusing on that. But as we know, at Mediavine, ads are just the beginning. So we're always building sustainable businesses for our content creators, and we want to be their partners. And in that, we have started to create our own WordPress plugins. And our first exciting one that we've been having amazing things coming out with, and a lot coming out over the holidays, is Create by Mediavine. So give us quickly a little overview about what Create is, because it can be a little bit confusing about what Create is, because it is so many things.
It's so confusing. I still don't have a good elevator pitch on it, so I will try. Okay. I think the easiest way that people look at Create is it as a recipe card plugin, but it's so much more than that. Yes, it does perform the actions of a recipe card, which is highlighting your recipes inside of a very beautiful structured box, presenting that information to Google in an SEO friendly way. It does that, but it does so much more because recipes are just one of the types in Create. And even at launch, we launch with craft or how to. So Google knows about all sorts of different content types on the internet and wants us to mark up or structure all sorts of data to present to them. Food bloggers help pave the way with recipe cards as being one of the first kind of mainstream ways I've seen people take advantage of this. But that's really just the beginning, and that's the exciting stuff, or what we're most excited for with Create. So we've already released, obviously, the how-to or craft, and we have obviously food in there. I believe today, I don't even know if it's hit yet or if it's tomorrow, we're releasing a thing called lists, which we're very excited for. LISTS, lists. Not the most exciting name, but what there basically is a roundup or a listing of multiple recipes on your site. You'd be surprised to know this, but Google officially recognizes those and wants you to do that. So they want you to organize useful content for the reader. So if you have a collection of chicken recipes, you can now group them together, create a list and say, these are my top chicken recipes, write a post about it, insert this list, and we're gonna mark that up for Google for you. And what's called a carousel is how they officially recognize it. And now when people search, and if your list comes up, you're gonna get multiple results in Google that people can kind of scroll through. That's why they call it the carousel, particularly that's on mobile. Crazy enough, no recipe card out there supports this, at least that we've seen, and Create will hopefully sometime today when that gets released, if not tomorrow. So lists are coming out, and that's just one of the many things that we're able to build with Create, because Create is basically about showcasing your most valuable content to your users in a structured way. Oh, and also pretty ad optimized, I should say. There is an incentive behind us doing it here at Mediavine besides just helping you with more traffic. We want to make sure that everything is optimized, obviously, for ads here, and Create absolutely does that. It puts the main recipe card ad in a great position, and even allows for multiple recipe card ads for longer content. And we have a lot of exclusives kind of come into that, as I was saying, with the new ad experiences that will be Create only. So Create's pretty exciting, even with the features that are now, but the stuff that's coming in the rest of 2019 going to be even more insane. Travel bloggers, I think, are going to go nuts when they see what we have coming to this thing. Oh, Jordan is messaging me on the side here to tell me that lists are live on the repo now, so you can download them. Yeah, so check those out. But travel bloggers are going to be obsessed with Create. We're going to allow you to finally get that same treatment that food bloggers have been getting, allow you to kind of highlight your structured content. We can't give you any major hints about what's coming besides I can tell you top places and officially recognized Google schema markup type. So they want us to mark up top places. So it'd be, for example, top Chinese restaurants in New York City. So if somebody's searching that in Google, they can return your list, your create list. And so top places is going to be one of those, but it's so much more than that. We have multiple card types coming for travel bloggers that we're really excited for, and that's all happening this year. And there's a lot more coming to create besides just new card types, but improvements across the board that we're really excited for. We will be sharing those with you all year long, but things like recipe indexes, things that people have previously relied on kind of third-party plugins to do, we want to put all of that stuff in to create so that you don't have to rely on third-party plugins that might not be as optimized as, say, Create is. Again, back to that whole Pagespeed thing, we're kind of into it around here, and Create is first in class with that.
Okay, we've got a lot of comments going on Create. Gloria Dugan says, awesome, plugins that will work. And Vita says, we love using Create. It's been a great addition. Bobette Kyle says, I'm planning to learn Create by revamping 2 DIYs in my top 10. She says, oh, wait, lists. Does it have to be recipes? We've got multiple people asking, is list just for recipes?
I can't just announce a new feature and just say it subtly when pushing it to the side. So no, when it comes to lists, when it comes to like what Google is going to recognize, it's mostly designed around recipes, I would say right now, but lists will support anything within Create. So if you have multiple how-to, multiple craft, heck, you can combine craft with food in a single list. Crazy enough, the guys have even added the ability to link to external stuff in a list. So if you run a lot of roundups, you can now use lists to create your roundups. So if you want to link to other bloggers, that's not officially part of the Google schema. Only internal links are, but if you want to add external links, you can as well. It's not going to break your schema. Again, we have a schema validator in there so you can see what it looks like in Google's eyes. But it will support basically anything, a list of recipes, a list of craft, soon to be a list of top places, travel, whatever it may be. Create is extremely extensible.
Lists for everybody, she said. Lisa Rollins said, is list added to Create, or is it a separate plugin?
It's part of Create. Oh, and I forgot another type of thing you can put inside of lists, and that would be posts themselves. So maybe you didn't convert a post over to Create, you can make that part of your list as well. So
fantastic.
Pretty exciting. Lists are, we think, one of the biggest game changers to an industry in general. We're very excited. Like, this is a whole new schema type that nobody's been taking advantage of, and Google has been begging for. And again, Create's going to have that today for everyone.
Woohoo! Okay. Veronica Prim says, thank you. An excited travel blogger here. Amy Sugarman says, yes, yes, yes. Have I mentioned how awesome y'all are? Kit Graham says, yay for top places. Thank you. Elizabeth Gidley says, can you use lists for linking to affiliate links as like a resources box?
I don't think so at the time. I think we're working on a lot of the affiliate stuff here at Create. I think as you've seen, we kind of give you that awesome little area in the bottom of recipe cards. I know there's been a lot of requests that people love the way that looks. They want to see more of that. So we're going to think of ways that we can kind of give you what you're asking for right there, which is a good way to highlight kind of your affiliate stuff in a pretty structured way, which is what Create does. I wouldn't say lists are the best use for that right now, but we have some stuff coming.
All right. Amy Pelsner says, I was just writing a list in a post as you're talking, so she's very excited to talk it out. She says, thank you. You guys are awesome. Diana Hansen says, if I select a video within Create, but check hide video from card, shouldn't that override the featured video when someone views that specific post?
No. So if you're using that hide video feature, that's going to not output the actual video into the post. That's going to output just the schema markup to tell Google that video is in this post. So that feature is to be used in conjunction with you already having put the video in your post. That's so you don't have to put it in twice. We know some other plugins, people end up putting in the videos twice. First, Mediavine video player currently does not support using the same embed multiple times on a page. Something we're working on, but that's one of the reasons we discourage that. But also in general, when it comes to things like Pagespeed, you don't want that video to be in there twice. You want it to be in there once. And so that allows you to say, hey, Google, here's the video, and then put the video further up in the page. So it won't change the featured video that you have on the page. You have to still insert the video you want on that page if you're using that feature.
if you're using that feature. Okay, Bob Kyle said, pushing the envelope, love it. Okay, I'm thinking we'll probably get a couple more questions on Create before it's all said and done. But let's take a quick little break here and talk about what the exciting thing that's going to be happening to our own owned and operated websites is a way to segue into something else really exciting.
Really crazy exciting that we've hinted at. Yeah, we don't get to take advantage of Create because our sites are currently not on WordPress. So like Food Fanatic runs its own custom recipe card. And that's not fun. We are not getting to take advantage of lists, and Amber somewhere is very angry at me. So we are going to be moving all of our O&Os, or our owned and operated sites, over to WordPress. So as they say in the programming world, we can eat our own dog food. I know no one else probably likes that expression. It's fine. Human consumable dog food, it's good.
It's marked up correctly for schema in Create.
Or not correctly marked up, or not marked up, but correctly, yeah. So we are moving all of our sites over. I know we've wanted to do this for a while, and that's finally happening this year now that we have this amazing team in place that can help us do that. So we are going to be moving over the Hollywood Gossip, Food Fanatic, and TV Fanatic to WordPress. And as we do that, there's going to be a few plugins that will kind of do things the Mediavine way or the crazy Eric way that we're going to need to create. Yeah, so which is a good segue into, I think, the first one. The very foundation for which you can move a site over, and that would be the theme. So we have mentioned before that we wanted to do this, but we're going to officially build a Mediavine theme framework this year. So in the same way of things like Genesis or Thesis, there's now going to be Trellis. So what is Mediavine Trellis besides a great Vine pun? Trellis is going to be extremely fast, as you can imagine. We're going to make sure that if you are running Trellis, you are going to hit a near perfect Lighthouse or Google Pagespeed Insights score. So as part of our development process, we have Lighthouse, which is what powers Pagespeed Insights, analyzing every single code commit or change that we make here. So Trellis will always be a near perfect Pagespeed or Lighthouse score. Part of Lighthouse also requests that you do a PWA or progressive web app that was asked before. And Trellis out the gate is going to have built-in progressive web app support. And it's going to hit Google's minimum requirements to be considered basically an installable app on Android phones. And that's kind of all happening out the gate with Trellis. So we are extremely excited. Oh, and I should mention, besides the speed, it's also going to be incredibly optimized for ads. Again, big shocker here. There is some hidden motivation behind what we do besides just getting you guys more traffic and giving you a better user experience. But also it's going to be optimized for ads. So it's going to allow us to kind of finally run proper like homepage ads, feed ads, making sure that your sidebar is properly configured. Everything is ready to go in the way that it should be so that your ads perform best. That's just out the gate with any kind of Trellis theme. And obviously you can't have a theme framework without themes. So one of the things we're going to be doing is working with kind of the top theme developers out there, working with them to help us build some child themes, and Mediavine will be releasing its own child themes as well that will all be completely free. So any of our child themes will be free, and we're going to help people build on the Trellis platform. Trellis is going to be completely open source, so it's going to be kind of free for anyone to develop on. So we're going to work with kind of the top developers to make sure that they are building you, or designers, building you beautiful themes.
Okay, so you've basically exploded the internet right now with what you just said. So I'm gonna trace back a little bit and see what we've got. We've got some comments happening. So yes, Amber did just, in fact, to trace back to that far, she did confirm that she's been angry with you for 2 years. So we do have that. Annie McClung actually asked, a custom Mediavine WordPress theme. I checked Food Fanatic and the Hollywood Gossip daily to see if it's being tested. Andy did not know that we already had it happening. You announced it. It's amazing. We've got what from Amy Sugarman. Holly Baker says, my goodness, y'all have been busy. Andy McClung says, awesome. Christy George says, what? Jennifer Thurman Sebastian says, wow, excited to see this. Wendy Uselton Spraker says, what? Oh my God. Lisa Rollins, bring on the speed. Amber says, it's coming, y'all. And I'm allowed to say that too because I'm from Oklahoma. 2019 is the year of Mediavine Trellis. Courtney Odell said, just when I was thinking of changing themes, you're kind of my favorite person, Eric Hochberger. Everyone is saying Andy says he'll do a beta test of this. Bobette says she sees a theme change in her future. A lot of people are saying they like to beta test it. Wendy said, please line up some folks to help us get our sites transferred over to Trellis. Not all of us are techies.
Yeah, so that's a lot of feedback. Thank you, guys. It seems mostly positive so far.
I'm not even done yet.
So Trellis is going to initially be beta tested internally, like everything we do here, before we would do anything to your sites. We're thinking more than likely we're definitely going to have to do a beta test, obviously a little more open before it goes public, just like we did with Create. So we'll have to set up some sort of Trellis sign up for beta as we get a little bit closer. And we will definitely, obviously, especially with our beta people, help people migrate over to it. Just like we did with Create. We're not going to just shove it on your site and say good luck. We're gonna help you set up Trellis.
So people, the question that is on some people's minds: when will Trellis be available? Also, will Genesis child themes still work on it?
They will not. So I will say with Trellis, we're going to be changing everything. So Google PageSpeed Insights and Lighthouse has some pretty strict requirements. Anyone who's been trying to do that on their existing sites have probably been fighting an uphill battle. There's a lot of people that have figured out ways to do it. I know Lauren shared that he had like a 99 score or something already on WordPress, which I don't know, there's some wizardry he's doing there. But for most people, that's not really possible with kind of existing plugins and in the existing WordPress architecture. So one of the things we're going to be doing is kind of changing some hooks and kind of filters for the WordPress people out there. And in order to do that, a lot of things are not going to be compatible. Definitely not child themes. Child themes are going to have to be custom written for Trellis. And again, we're going to work with designers to help make sure that they can create new versions of their themes that they want to move over. So your existing theme will definitely not work. It'll have to be, unfortunately, something new. We're going to work with kind of plug-in people to make sure that it's Trellis optimized. So little things like PageSpeed Insights, you need to make sure, kind of your non-critical or the non-first screen view stuff is getting the heck out of the way. So we have to work with plugins to make sure that they're all compatible to do that. We're going to make sure that you're going to have the plugins you need to be able to move over to a Trellis kind of infrastructure before we start encouraging people to do it.
And just to reiterate this and make sure that everyone understands, do you have to be a Mediavine publisher to use our Create plugin or to use Trellis?
No. So both Create Create itself is available on the WordPress repo for anyone to download and install. And even the kind of more premium features in Create right now are completely free. So things like automatic nutrition calculation that are historically a paid service are even free in Create for non-Mediavine publishers. The only thing is necessarily support is going to be a little bit better for Mediavine publishers than non, and there's going to be a couple premium features that will be for Mediavine pubs only. But for the most part, we try to bring as much as we can to the entire internet. A lot of that is obviously we want people to experience what it's like to be with Mediavine, but also to help them grow, because we know we are a goal for a lot of new bloggers. So we want to make sure that we help them do everything they can to grow so they can join Mediavine. So it's in our best interest to keep this stuff open to the community. And Trellis itself is even open source, so it has to be open to the community. You can't ask someone to build on top of a theme that they can't get access to. So.
Fantastic. And speaking of new beginnings for our owned and operated websites, new themes, everyone's so excited about them. What do we have? What's happening with the Mediavine website itself, Professor Hochberger?
Oh, that is a great question. So the Mediavine website itself is actually going to be the first site built on Trellis, and it is coming out soon, a completely new version of the Mediavine.com website, one that will follow our best practices. So we will practice what we preach on the blog. The blog itself will finally be optimized. We realized the irony when we told everyone to increase your font size. Well, we ran with a tiny font size there. Not a great sample site, or wasn't a great, but when it launches with Trellis, it's going to be following best practices with everything we're telling you guys to do. And it's actually the first site we're building on Trellis. So that is happening as we speak, and hopefully we'll be done in the coming, I'm not going to put a deadline on it, but soon-ish. And then once that's complete, yeah. So people are asking about a Trellis deadline. Well, technically the first Trellis site should hopefully be launching in the next few months. But individual themes that you'll be able to get to, we're hoping for end of Q2, but I don't want to set a deadline that anyone's going to hold me to. Trellis will be available when it's ready. Like just like Create, we didn't want to release it early. We want to make sure we do a healthy beta period, so we cause the least disruption to your sites. I mean, this is your theme. We can't mess that up.
Nope. Carly Dan Bittner said, I know I'm totally jumping the gun, but do you know what the cost of Trellis will be? The cost of the custom theme? She also says, oh, and hello. She loves us both.
So Trellis, completely free. Any of the Mediavine child themes we are creating will be completely free. Themes that will be created by third-party designers will be whatever they charge. I assume they're going to be competitive, if not cheaper than Genesis themes, given that our underlying Trellis is free, while Genesis is a paid framework. So given that ours is free, they should be the same or cheaper than existing kind of themes out there.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So many questions, so much excitement about Trellis and all the incredible things we've got coming towards us in 2019. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with our conferences in 2019. We've got some pretty exciting stuff happening there.
Before we hop in there, one more WordPress thing I want to say.
Oh, please.
Yeah. So along with Trellis, we're going to be considering, as I said before, any plugins that we're going to need for moving over our sites are things that we are going to be building this year. So I know a lot of people have asked about things like social sharing buttons they've seen on the Hollywood Gossip that are lightning fast to load. Like a lot of that stuff is also going to be coming to WordPress plugins. So it's not just going to be Create and Trellis, but we have a whole team dedicated to this stuff. So expect more fun things. But onto our conferences where we can meet all you guys and talk to you guys about all these things. We have some of those this year, right? Right, Jenny?
We do. I've heard that we do. We're doing maybe one or two of those, perhaps in different cities such as Chicago, June 12th through 14th, and then we'll be in Austin, November 6th through 8th. So we've got both of those coming up. The tickets for Chicago have already sold out, but we do have some dinner tickets still available there. And then Austin has not gone on sale yet. So once those go on sale, we'll still have, so we're giving you two opportunities to meet us up in 2019. We're super, super excited about both of those. We've got incredible venues and we've got incredible things happening all across the board. We've got great parties planned. And then as always with the Mediavine conference, we've got incredible educational opportunities lined up. We're going to have some of the Mediavine team there at both places to meet. So please come and say hi to us. And then in addition, we're not just doing our own conferences this year. As always, we're going all over the country to different conferences. We're bringing Create to several different places this year for people to meet it and try it on firsthand, live and in the flesh. Create. Can you have a WordPress plugin in the flesh? I don't know. That's a little bit.
I don't want to live in a world like that. No.
Yeah, that's strange. But you'll be able to test it live, and that's what we're really excited about. And we're also going to be doing more things where we're going all across the country. We just want to meet as many of our publishers as we can. It's always our goals to get up close and personal. Why is that so important to us at Mediavine, Eric?
Honestly, the best feedback we get are in person at these events. We love nothing more than to meet you guys to get open and honest feedback about everything we're doing here. It's a great two-way dialogue. I know a lot of times we'll sit down and do audits with people in person. It's weird, even though we're all a completely remote company here at Mediavine and all of our publishers are everywhere. We just love sitting down and meeting with you guys and discussing kind of your site, your goals, what we can do to help you get there. We love meeting our publishers, and that's pretty much the main reason we host these conferences, is for education and getting a chance to sit down with you guys. So please, if you can't make it to those conferences, as Jenny said, there's a ton of other stuff that we do for a chance for you to meet us. How do we share that stuff on the blog? Is that the best way to find out?
We can share that. Well, yes, we can talk about it on the blog. We just had someone ask if we're going to be at Snap. In fact, we are going to be at Snap with Create at Snap. We're looking at other places where we can be introducing some of our new features for how-to and DIY, and that will be what we'll be bringing Create to there. So we will be at Snap this year. We're excited about that. We have somebody who wants us to come to Canada, Gloria. We have somebody who wants us to come to Europe, ideally Prague. So we've got a few things here, people are saying, but Andy McClung said April will be my 1-year mark with Mediavine, and in case you've ever wondered, you're awesome. Christy George wants to know if you can just buy the dinner tickets. Christy, yes, you can just buy dinner tickets to the conference, so you can do that. And we'll have all our Austin tickets. Megan, will you let us know when exactly those are going on sale. They're coming soon. And we'll obviously let you guys know on social media everywhere when we're going to be placing those Austin tickets on sale. And we're very excited about that. We'll be staggering those ticket releases as well, where we'll do some for first-time attendees and some for returning attendees. So we'll make sure that everybody has the chance to grab a ticket to come to Austin. And then this might sound crazy, guys, but we're already talking 2020. We had a meeting the other day. So we know that the conferences are an exciting time for us. We love having them. We love meeting you, and they're an exciting time for you. So we are not neglecting our conferences, and we'll be all over the place again in 2019 and in 2020 to meet people. Tickets will go on sale first round for Austin, March 15th. Ryan Showers wants to know if we're going to TravelCon again. Yes, Ryan, we believe that is in our slate of places that will be appearing. Mm-hmm. And finally, Eric, before we sign off, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with influencer marketing at Mediavine.
Or influencer marketing going last here before we open things up. So influencer marketing, Stephanie, obviously, her team have been doing an awesome job in terms of bringing campaigns. But one of the things we're doing this year is and we started with it with the hiring of our first dedicated influencer marketing salesperson, Mallory, who's been awesome. Hi, Mallory, if you're listening. So we're building kind of an influencer marketing dedicated sales team. So it's not going to be part of our existing programmatic or ad sales team, but a whole separate team dedicated to nothing but growing influencer marketing. That's really important to us. We know not everyone has had a chance to work with our influencer marketing team doing sponsored work. And we want to make sure, although it's a very hard thing to scale, given that we try to do that one-on-one more human element to sponsored campaigns, we're going to try to expand that as much as we can this year and obviously years to come. So as I was saying before, like a big part of Mediavine Direct is working on our sponsored stuff. So influencer marketing is a very, very big part of our future growth here. So we're going to be doubling, tripling. I don't even know what the multiple is going to be on influencer marketing with the number of people we're bringing in from zero. Infinity doubling down on it. So it's going to be really exciting. You should hopefully start getting a chance to work with us because it's a very different experience, I think, than any other influencer marketing company, kind of the more boutique-y approach that we take with both the advertisers and the publishers. Had mostly just amazing feedback so far, so we just want to expand it.
Yes, we're going to be expanding it. I know that Steffi and her team are amazing, and it's really truly the white glove treatment when you get to work with them, and that you don't have to do any of that icky going back and forth in case sometimes, guys, I know this might be shocking to everyone who's ever done a sponsored post campaign, but sometimes brands change their minds. What? And when that happens, what's amazing when you're working on a Mediavine influencer campaign is that you've got somebody in your corner that's constantly arguing for you and really making sure that you are getting what you deserve for any changes that might be occurring. We all know we all change our minds. We can't hate on the brands for doing what we all do every day. But you've got someone in your corner advocating for you when you're working on a Mediavine influencer campaign. Okay, Tara Jacobson wants to know, how do you get on the list to come to Austin? Megan is saying we'll be posting dates and links for when tickets go on sale. It's not a list, Tara. It's going to be another ticket sales that will, somewhat like concert tickets, where we open it up. We've got them set aside for, as I said, for different groups of people who've never attended a Mediavine conference, people who have already attended a Mediavine conference. Then when those tickets go on sale, it'll just be first come, first serve, but we'll definitely be letting you know. Oh, Lisa Horonic Grant says, just joining in because I had a fridge delivered. Welcome. Congratulations on the new fridge. She said she'll see me at the Housewares conference next month. Well, that is true, Lisa, and I will be happy to see you there. That'll be exciting. So I don't know if there's any other questions, but we have covered everything on our list, Eric. We have talked about pretty much the fact that we're going to change the entire world in 2019. No problem.
I feel like this became the Trellis show. Whew.
It became the Trellis show. It became the Create show, conference show. We've got a lot of people with a lot of ideas that we're pretty excited about it. I also think we might have freaked out a few people that work at Mediavine, but it wouldn't be a Jenny, Eric, Teal Talk without that.
That's the whole point of this roadmap, to surprise everyone who has to build it all for us, right? No.
Exactly.
We've been working with them.
We're working with them. They knew what we were going to say. All right. Well, guys, we have had an amazing hour. It has been action-packed, and as always, we love having you here, and we so appreciate you joining us with all your questions. One thing that we didn't mention that is coming your way in 2019 and 2020 and every year that we're Mediavine is more educational opportunities, more lives, I have a feeling that the Summer of Live will be returning again, back with a vengeance this year with one live a week all during our summer. So if you have suggestions on content that you want to see and places you want us to be and subjects you want us to talk about, please reach out and talk to us. You can reach out to us at sponsored@mediavine.com. You can reach out to us to the publisher support, publishers@mediavine.com. Talk to us on Facebook, talk to us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Talk to us during one of our lives. We are very accessible and we're always here to talk to you. Thank you to everyone saying thank you. You're welcome. We are happy to be here. We're happy to be Mediavine because you guys make us what we are. And we would not be here without the incredible publishers that trust us with their livelihoods. We're very honored to be trusted in the way that you guys trust us. Thank you for joining us. Eric, anything else before we sign off?
No, just 100% every sentiment you just shared there. You guys are the value of Mediavine. You are Mediavine. So thank you guys all. Thank you all for the feedback. Cannot wait to meet some of you guys, hopefully in Chicago, Austin, or wherever else, Jenny, you guys send me. Can't wait.
We'll be sending him everywhere and we'll be everywhere. So we'll make sure we hug as many necks as we can, shake as many hands, and take as much feedback as we possibly can. Thank you guys again for a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you in February with our next Teal Talk. Thanks, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.